enter the realm of the VCR Podcast with your host, Vish.
They're just bastardizing our childhood and the classics.
Chris.
Nintendogs drove me. It's what makes me want to hurt people.
Radical.
People in general still bitch about everything. It still doesn't change.
Let the podcast begin.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the VCR Podcast, the only podcast that predates itself in the moment the title is spoken. Adam, aka askcsradical, here with you guys. Jin and Chris above me. Views Vishal's also above me, and it's been 50 fucking episodes. What the hell? How fast has time passed? At the same time, it's gone really slow. I don't know how to explain this.
Today's 50?
Yeah, today's 50.
Yeah?
Oh my god, and it was almost a CR episode.
Yeah, that would have been the best 50. Damn, we could have gotten a good present on this podcast, but we didn't.
We almost got each other the best present ever.
Not Vish.
Not having
Bitch, please, I'm the eye candy here.
No, it's Vish, please. Leave the podcast.
Vish, please.
Bam! Off to a great start. But yeah, it's been 50 episodes. My, how fast the time flies. And at the same time, with the way that 2020 has been, how slow it fucking goes at the same time.
I
thought this was episode 200. I'm very confused. What year?
It's either episode
1 million.
It's either episode 200 or episode 5, depending on which way you look at it. So
This is true.
What?
This is true.
Okay, so Adam's going back to school to fix his math because it clearly sucks.
that's how slow time's been. We've
started
actually
on
done
a leap
50
year.
episodes, but it's only been in the time of like 5 days. That's how math works. You just have to accept 2020 math now, Vish.
Okay,
I mean, we all do remember that at one point in the same year that all this is going on, Australia was literally on fire.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's true.
And we were going to be attacked by killer hornets and
World War III.
Well, they're still coming.
no. World War III is just it's always permeating. Like you never know, it might happen at any minute.
That's true.
It's
That's
been
actually how
delayed
Star
at
Trek
least a little
started.
bit.
Oh.
Wait, when was Cyberpunk World War III? Shit.
Cyberpunk.
Yeah, that's about how I feel every time, especially going into the next fucking chance of this game coming out.
I don't. CD Projekt Red's
if
stocks
it
went down
gets-
25%. I almost feel like it's time to buy some. 'Cause it'll go right back up.
Nah, I'm not trusting that still.
I don't know.
I think this time if Cyberpunk gets delayed, Adam is actually going to be upset because he's booked off 3 vacations for it, and this time,
Yeah.
it won't be booked off in advance.
I mean, I don't know. I'm starting to get worried that what I might end up playing might not be that great. Because I mean, if literally the PS4 and Xbox One versions are what holding this game back, that makes me wonder how shitty is it running.
Yeah. That's
So I don't know.
That's a worry I'm thinking about too. And the next gen.
Oh yeah, like you
versions
have to
aren't
worry
even
about it,
ready yet
Mister.
or
I
anything
have
like
both consoles.
that. First of all, I don't even know when that PS5 is coming, but
Doesn't matter.
we'll
It's going
get
to come sooner than I'm probably getting Cyberpunk. So
there. We may get everything before Cyberpunk. It was never actually in development. It was an entire hoax the whole time.
fake games.
Also, they'll keep your money.
Fake games.
Yeah. But let's talk about real games. So let's do the intro that we always do where we talk about what we've been playing. I'll start again because, again, it's the same fucking thing because this is the beauty. I'm sure somebody listens to the show at some point and goes, man, like this guy only talks about one game all the time. Yeah, here's the thing.
Madden.
I used to watch the Co-optional podcast all the time. You know, when it was 4 different people on the show and every week they'd have 3-4 different things going on. I wish I made their kind of money, so, you know, playing 3 to 4 new games every week is not exactly the most affordable thing to do in my case. So it's nice that I can buy these extremely long games that I can play very slowly over the course of about a month, so that way I don't have to spend an endless cascade of $60, $70, $80. So unfortunately, you guys get to hear me talk about Metal Gear Solid for another week and probably another few more weeks after this, although I'm sure Vish isn't that upset about it.
I'm not upset about it. I love this game.
So, I have 2 complaints, which are the only things I want to talk about, really. So the first one,
Really?
so I thought I was going to be a genius. I really did. So when you face a certain fire boss, which is what I did,
Oh, fuck.
I'm very upset. I'm very upset for 2 reasons. One, This guy literally takes tank shells in the opening part of the game and doesn't budge. But if I throw a grenade slightly behind him, he goes poof across the map. Which is basically what I had to do to get him to fall into a pit of water.
Actually, I found because I was like rage induced, like angry from not being able to beat it. I found out the trick was to get him in front of the water tank, the gas cylinder. Blow up the gas cylinder and knock him into the pool.
See, it's even simpler than that. You literally just toss a grenade behind him. You get him to stand right at the edge, and then you toss a grenade behind him. That's all it took. But the reason I'm more upset is because I thought I was going to be a clever piece of shit, and I thought, I just rescued some kids, and they made me develop a water pistol. Is that a cheap way around this? And I got the water pistol, and he's like, you're going to need a lot more water than that, Snake. I'm like, damn it! I thought I was clever going squirt with the water pistol.
That was okay. So you played the parts that fucked me up in the game, like the part where you thought Snake was going to kill those kids, and I was like, "What the fuck just happened?"
So wait, hold the phone. Are we at the part that I get to go? Wait, was that it?
Yeah.
You pussy.
I don't know, man. Like
I knew it.
Like
I fucking knew it.
What fucked me up? It was like there's legit child soldiers out there, and the way they were begging for their lives, and you at first thought Snake actually slaughtered them. It was like,
my God, you are the most gullible person I've ever heard. They literally say the line, there's no place for them, it's either heaven or hell. And he goes, no, there's a third option. And I'm assuming it's not Ocelot, but the other guy, I'm blanking on his name right now. But he's like, outer heaven? And then he fires his gun. I'm like, it's really fucking obvious he's not shot them. He just fired to get the recording in so they know. I'm like...
I definitely knew they didn't shoot.
So the other part that fucked me up was when they were doing the experiments on those kids.
Oh, that I was just like... Actually, most of them weren't kids. I think most of them were still like more adults. But even then, I thought... I walked through that medical facility and went... Why do I get the feeling this is the part, and I'm literally about to go on this podcast in a couple of days to be like, really? That was it?
You think it was fucked up that they were experimenting on the kids and
trying I'm not saying it wasn't fucked up, but I didn't look at it and be like, oh my God, this is the grossest thing I've ever seen. I'm like, shit.
I mean, the reason it fucked me up because it wasn't the fact of like, it was just disturbing. It was just like, I was like, this is real shit, like human experimentation, child soldiers, like, it was real shit. That's what fucked me up. I was like, oh, this is actually real world stuff. This isn't just like, oh, this is a horror game. Like, oh, this is actually fucking like real shit.
So then it means one of two things. It means either A, you're a pussy, or B, I'm an absolute cold-hearted piece of shit. I actually would probably go with the latter for this one, to be honest, but...
It's actually somewhere in the middle.
You know that song that Jet did, Cold Hard Bitch? That's actually about me.
Yeah, okay.
Bitch, please.
That makes sense.
The other thing was just a fun one. I found another mission that I didn't need to do anything in just to finish it. So there's a mission where you got to go and, I guess, kill a guy before he gets on a helicopter to go see a dealer. So you had to go into, like, the airport to do it.
Yeah.
So I tried to do it the right way once, realized, oh, this is really fucking hard. And then I went, what if I just go in completely guns blazing? And by guns blazing, I mean, I grabbed my nearest vehicle, barged right into the airport, somehow found a route that no one notices me, walked in the front fucking door of the airport, shot the guy, and left. No one saw me. And I went, this is a stealth game.
And that's what you did.
That's fantastic.
It only took me 2 tries because the first time I just went to the wrong part of the building. I went onto the roof and realized, oh crap, I went the wrong way and I pissed too many people off. The second time, same exact route. All I had to do was just avoid one walker gear. That's it. Got in the front door. Nobody's in the building. Just bang, gone. I'm like, what? Why should I ever play the game normally ever again after that?
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun doing the stealth, but also you could just drive in there and shoot people.
Some of the absurdities that you can get away 100%. With in that game are just incredible to me.
Oh yeah, I had an entire base of about 40 guys all asleep because all I used was tranquilizers, and I used what's her name, Quiet.
Yeah.
With tranquilizer, you can upgrade her sniper to get tranks in it.
Side note about Quiet,
like fire. fire, and everybody's asleep.
Side
She's
note about
super hot.
quiet. Okay, well, aside from that, what is the point of the other skins? They look terrible.
No. Yeah, they look horrible.
Like the silver and the gold thing's ridiculous.
Like, what is this, fucking Goldfinger?
Goldfinger.
Quiet.
Like the blood one, I'm like,
Quiet
okay, the
finger.
blood one's just kind of like if you apparently just want, I don't know, you haven't
wanna
had
fuck
enough
people
like
up.
blood in for one day, I guess, and you just want to see it constantly. But every other costume, I'm just like, I mean, shit.
Did you see Quiet's cutscene in the game yet on the base?
I'm sure I've already seen it just from happenstance because I mean the game's been out long enough that cutscene circulates. But
No. This, trust me, this is one that you know what I'm talking about.
Vish, I know
Yeah.
exactly what you're talking about. I just said I've seen it several times because it circulates. Do you not listen to the words coming out? Do you understand the words that are
okay.
coming out of my mouth?
Bitch, please.
Wow.
Okay, so
Classic.
you've seen it on like YouTube and other gaming channels, then, right?
Should I answer that
Or-
question, Chris? Should I answer
Yes,
that?
please do, because I
No, he still doesn't get it. Just leave it at this.
I'll let you figure it out for yourself. You know.
okay.
And the correct answer is yes. She has a butt. I noticed.
That's not what I'm talking
I'm
about.
sitting there looking at her outfits, being like, okay, I was hoping at least for like one that I don't know, like maybe gives her like cat ears, I guess, shit. Like, but instead it's just like gold, silver, and shit tons of blood. I'm like, Japan, sometimes you disappoint me. You don't usually, but sometimes you do, and I'm
Cat
very
ears.
disappointed in you.
At least Diamond Dog and Diamond Horse have like legit like outfits to enhance themselves.
Bullshit. They have no diamond skin. How dare you call them diamond something and not give them a diamond skin? This is Minecraft, for God's sakes. Where's my diamond armor?
And why can
You're
Quiet
playing
get
the wrong
gold
game
and,
if this
you know,
is Minecraft.
Diamond Dog can't get diamond.
I know, it's bullshit. But yeah, that's about it. I haven't gotten too much further. The last mission I did was, like I said, the one where I just blitzed into that airport and killed a guy. This is the beauty of
I wish I
Cyberpunk
saw
not
that.
coming out. I have more than enough time to just dick around in that game, which is what I've been doing. I think I'm at like 35% completion. Because every time I have side
Yeah, that
missions,
game's
I
just
do them.
like- Oh, me too. I did so many, and I feel like I still wasn't even close to 100%. Fuck that game.
Well, I think the
Jesus.
percentage also has to do with rankings, which I'm not going to try that hard on every mission.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, it does, and there's no way in hell.
There's only a few missions I actually
I'll
got
get
an
it.
S on because I found before the level where you saved Otacon, I found the levels were very irrelevant and just unnecessarily difficult. So I wasn't even trying. It's after you saved Otacon, I found the game really found its identity. And it's like, oh shit, this is actually going to be
The only
fucking
reason the
awesome.
game's difficult in the beginning is
Yeah.
because you don't have a lot of silence gear. As soon as you start getting like a silent sniper rifle,
Yeah.
which is what I use, you don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah, that's a good point too. And the sneaking suit. Oh, that's the suit I used the whole game.
And Didi, when
I
he
love
gets
it.
the knife, and you can just send him to knife people.
Oh, it's so interesting when he does it. It's like, how is the dog doing this?
Who's
I
a
love
good
it. I love
boy?
it.
Who's my
Diamond
good
Dog.
murderous boy?
Those are good.
Yeah, like the
Good
dog
boy.
kills people.
Good boy.
Otherwise, played
And-
a little bit more Among Us just for shits and giggles. Same deal. Play with a more big brain group of friends. I'm getting a little bit more used to it now. Now I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna make excuses constantly for everything, and that usually works.
Nice.
And then played a little more Sims because I got my creativity back and started just messing around with shit again. So otherwise, like I just keep coming back to stuff just to kind of tinkle with things, and then that's it, or tinker with things.
No,
Oh, yeah.
tinkle.
I'll take
I
a
don't have
risk.
much to say, so I'll
Yeah, let's go
now.
with Vish. I'll take the risk.
So
Expanse.
yeah, I've been playing a little bit of the first Lord of the Rings game, Shadows of Mordor. It's pretty sick. It's pretty great. It's not easy. There's a lot of orcs, a lot. Like, and
Yeah.
it isn't just like you just ran through them randomly. You have to go through a lot of bases, and the orcs come attacking at you by like the dozens. And you're a more skilled fighter than the rest of them. But because there's just so many and you have to like dodge them, it's the battle system, I would say, is similar towards the Arkham games. and you have to like dodge people attacking you from behind, and it is possible, but sometimes you're just attacking a few people, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I gotta press triangle to get the guy behind me. So I'm dying a lot right now, and I'm still getting used to the mechanics and the controls and like actually how to play the game. But overall, I'm really enjoying it. It's very violent. Like my one friend who's also an Adam said, it's very violently satisfying. Like it's the fact of like you decapitate somebody is like, that was nice. That was nice. And another thing I did this week, and I am so fucking happy we didn't waste our money in theaters for it. I watched New Mutants. It's oh my god, it's so bad. It is so just everything is just bad. The only saving grace is some character backstories, but everything about it was bad. It was paced very poorly. The story was ridiculous. The main villain was obvious. The whole we don't like each other, but you know what? We have each other thing was so predictable. The effects were not believable. The characters were just very uninteresting. I literally give this movie a 3 out of 10 at best. At best, a 3 out of 10. I don't even know why I'm giving it 3. And all these like, oh, it's the first X-Men horror movie.
It's like you know, it didn't have to be.
No, it
the
didn't.
Scary creatures that they were talking about, they looked fucking stupid. It was just literally there's no saving grace in this movie, and frankly, this should have just been this. Honestly, and I'm not exaggerating, should have been a direct-to-DVD movie. There was no reason for it to be in theaters. There was no reason for it to be delayed this long. Nothing saves this fucking movie. It is that bad. It makes Dark Phoenix look like a masterpiece.
Hey, slow the fuck down, bro.
Slow
down.
Dark Phoenix at least had Michael Fassbender as Magneto, and actually had a really cool battle scene in the train. Beyond that, the movie's terrible. But oh my god, New Mutants, I really can't stress how bad it is. It's just so awful. There is literally no saving grace for it. What they should have fucking done was made this a prequel to Logan with X-23 in there, and she finds a way to escape. That's how it should have been done.
Well,
not like this nonsense garbage.
Well, I mean, when the idea was, hey, let's take superheroes and make it into a horror movie, it's like, okay, that works if you're not doing an actual license, because X-Men is not a horror comic.
No. Not even close.
It's not. You can't.
Like,
I'm sorry.
There's the reason that I can't think of the name
horror.
of it right now. But do you guys remember the name of that like movie that was supposed to be like if Superman was like a horror villain?
Yeah.
Brightburn.
Yeah.
Thank you. Like that's an idea.
Mm-hmm.
And it works because there's no attachment to it. It's just a thing.
Yeah, it's.
If New Mutants had nothing to do with X-Men, it might have like had a better shot, but anybody going into it with X-Men,
it was bad enough as is.
Well, no, but what I'm saying is you already go into that movie. You already go into that movie expecting some level of quality because you're familiar with the X-Men. You're expecting at least like some amount of care. Whereas if there's no attachment to it, you're just thinking, okay, it's a horror movie. Just scare me. That's what you're there for. At least scare me.
It's honestly, it was just painful to watch. And another saving grace of it was an hour and a half long. So you watched it, it didn't take a lot of your time, and that was it.
This movie shouldn't have been made. It just sounds like it shouldn't have been
made. It really should.
Well, when they first announced it, I'm like, oh, they're going to continue off of Logan. Okay, that makes sense. It's a horror movie. What? Why? And that's where I went, okay, I guess there's no reason for me to watch that.
It's so just literally
I'd
3 out of
rather go
10
back
at
and watch
least.
X-Men 3.
To be entirely honest, I loved X-Men 3.
Okay, here's the thing. I love and hate X-Men 3. X-Men 3, the movie is terrible. But the fact that so many X-Men characters are in that movie kind of saves it. Just to be able to be like, that's fucking Marrow! Holy shit!
I loved it for the fact of, like, there was a lot of action. There was a lot of mutants. There was a lot of epic battle scenes. And, like, legit epic battle scenes. Like, the part with Alcatraz and then, like, the Magneto battles and, like, and the Juggernaut stuff. Like, don't get me wrong, Juggernaut was done very poorly, but it was just... For me, I just loved it for the fact of, like, there was so much going on and it was exciting.
That's usually a mistake, and I think that's why a lot of people didn't like it, because there was way too much. Now, if I'm looking at it as somebody who is just happy to see a bunch of characters, like I was watching the movie version of the X-Men Legends video games.
Yeah.
Like, just getting everybody.
My only thing is that I thought the Phoenix was done very poorly. I'm not a big fan of the whole Phoenix thing, the Jean Grey Phoenix. I'm not a big fan of any of that. I've never liked it, even in the old cartoon. I'm just like, I don't like this. And
I mean, they had some balls. They killed off Patrick Stewart. In that.
I think that was the part I think everyone fucking hated.
I loved it because it was shocking.
Oh, I was shocked. I'm like, wait, what? No,
it also made the post-credit scene that much more crazy.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's the thing. It's like I found X-Men 2 was way too crowded. That one I felt was way.
You thought 2 was way too crowded, but you didn't think 3 is?
2
is the masterpiece.
3 is literally the epitome of too much.
No, okay. So with 3. I found the main characters had enough screen time, where number 2 I watched, and it was very hard to determine, like, the significance of each character. And also, I think also with that's just the way I'm watching
anything you say.
The entire X-Men 2 was basically about two things. Was about Wolverine going into his old place, and pretty much like Cyclops trying to figure what the fuck was going on with Jean. But that was pretty much it. Everything else was just like...
So that's one thing I noticed about the X-Men movies, is like, and I get it, beyond Wolverine, like Cyclops was like such a after shadow, it doesn't even matter.
That's because it sucks.
Yeah, kind of. But
Jean, I'm sad. Shut up, Cyclops.
Zoom.
He was the Anakin Skywalker of X-Men.
He was.
That's
pretty rough. I don't think anybody's the Anakin Skywalker.
So far, I'm really.
I guess Rogue is kind of the Anakin Skywalker of X-Men.
I'm really enjoying.
Yeah, but I still related to her until the third one.
Yeah, and then Rogue's like, the whole epitome of my struggle is that I'm trying to struggle to become a mutant, and Rogue's just like, I don't want to be a mutant anymore. We're like, all right, well, that was fucking pointless.
Yeah, well,
my favorite of the X-Men movies is Days of Futures Past. I thought that one was great.
That one's very good.
And yeah, that was my favorite one of all of them. And I don't know how the MCU is going to bring them in. So
that's a problem 10 years down the road.
Yeah, we got
to get Black Widow out first. Look, man, we got some time to deal with.
Well, the rumor
they're going to do all of the next phase.
The rumor is right now is that No Time to Die is in a bidding war with streaming services, and it looks like it's going to go to Netflix. And I hope it does, because that'll.
What is that? That has nothing to do with Marvel. Thanks for the completely horrible segue.
I know, but I'm just okay.
I am the only one who tries to segue shit. Don't you try this shit?
You should have said marvelous segue.
It looks like if No Time to Die comes to streaming, I feel there is a good chance that a lot of the big names that didn't come out this year are going to as well.
I'm gonna just make one more comment, and we're gonna move on because Chris needs to go through his stuff because we got stuff to go to. Quite frankly, now that we have at least a sort of a goal date now for a vaccine, I think most film companies are going to hold it back now because they are probably looking at it being like, shit, May might be like the day we can start putting shit back.
Yeah. Well, the only last thing
realistically, Black Widow just takes a 12-month time off. It's like it comes out the exact date it was supposed to in 2020 and 2021, and we act like nothing ever happened. Yep. I'm pretty sure that at this point, now that they know that there's a chance vaccines will be at least administered to health officials by the end of this year, they're probably looking at the spring and being like, okay, this is it. This is definitely it. Just hang on to spring.
And the only other thing I want to say is all these motherfuckers who are bitching about like, there's too much Marvel, there's too much Marvel. Marvel is probably going to be the reason movie theaters get fucking saved.
This is well, the quick and final comment to that is anybody who thinks there's going to be too much Marvel, these are the same dumb fucks that thought there was going to be way too much hockey or way too much baseball when they brought the season back, and then you realize, oh wait, I miss hockey, I miss baseball.
Yeah,
so, yeah, no, there's no such thing as too much, guys. Like, unless Marvel releases a movie every week, then that might be, but that's not what's going to happen. So calm the fuck down. We're only going to get, what, 4 or 5 this year? Or next year? Ooh, 4 or 5 films. How am I going to find 10 hours out of 365 days? Ooh.
It's the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
It's not like every fucking movie is Gone with the Wind long. Jesus Christ. But anyways.
The only reason Endgame and Infinity War were that long is because they needed to be.
Speaking of things that went too long, okay, Vish's section is over now. Chris, what have you been up to before we move on?
Now that's a segue.
Madden.
That was good. No, I haven't even installed Madden, but I have the option now. That's not.
I love the fact that I explained to you that Madden 25 is actually Madden 14, and you're like, what?
Oh, that's so annoying. Like, why? Because what are they going to do in 5 years? That would be Madden 25.
Madden 14.
Like Madden. Yeah,
they're just 14. Like, well, we did skip 14. Screw it. Let's just call it that.
Have balls, call it 14.
They'll have to call it 2025. It's the only way. Like, because putting that apostrophe isn't going to make any dumbass any smarter about it.
Like, but I already have Madden 25, and I got it for $1. That's weird. Yeah, fucking idiots. Anywho.
You paid $1 too much for it.
Yeah. Well, I got my Xbox Series X, and hooked it up on Tuesday.
Did it smoke
between the podcast
because of vape smoke?
No. Oh my god! When I saw those, I was like, "That smoke looks familiar." Like,
I took one look at it and went, "There's no way that's fucking real because there's no way that console would smoke that much."
When an electronic bit actually like smokes out, it's just like it's like this one little bit. And it's like, oh, it smells like burning.
That's you set it on fire levels of smoke.
Yeah. Oh god. But oddly enough, up until getting the Xbox, the only thing I played was Killing Floor with you guys. So that was a lot of fun. I'd never played Killing Floor before, and neither of you know this, but back in 2013 when I built my PC, I think it was maybe just Killing Floor 1 that was really popular at the time, because I don't remember when 2 came out. I remember seeing screenshots of people on my friends list playing that game, and I thought, that looks too much like a horror game, and it looks gross, and I never want to touch it ever. And then you started talking about it, and I was
now
like,
you play, you're like
familiar. And then once we got ready to play it, I'm like, oh, for fuck's sakes, this is that game I decided I would never play. Oh, well, YOLO. And it's one of the greatest games I've ever played. Like, it's so simple.
Oh, it's so much fun.
Yeah. Just arena shooter. Waves of zombies or whatever, the Zeds. Yeah. Oh, that game is so much fun. It's probably different if you were to play just online with randoms. Although, actually, I could see myself hopping in with 5 other random people and just play for an hour and leave, and then it's over. Like, it's, I don't know, it's simple. I like the character classes. I like you're not stuck with one, so at any point you can just switch and level up that character. So technically you could level up all the characters in that game. But just the way it works, it's like kind of difficult, but not too difficult where it's unfair.
Oh, we were playing on normal. Believe me, we can make it hard.
Yes, and it's
I've played like endless mode on hard with 6 people. It is a fucking... It's just pure pandemonium. Holy shit.
I wouldn't want to do
that. Is it like starting at level 9 in Tetris?
No.
I have to imagine it's harder.
Because Tetris sucks.
Good day to you. Hang on. I love
You
Tetris.
actually don't like
It's one of the best
Tetris?
games ever.
Adam?
I'm not responding. I said what I had to say.
Wow.
Huh.
Wow. Our friendship is
Do you like
in
Dr. Mario at
jeopardy.
least?
It's just as shit.
I like Tetris way
Okay,
more than
fuck
Dr. Mario.
you.
Dr. Mario is okay, but there's other puzzle games I'd rather play, but
I
Tetris
love-
is like OG amazing. Anywho,
Tetris is like... sorry.
We're not talking about Tetris for fucking 10 minutes.
No. But yeah, so Killing Floor is pretty much the only game I'd played. I played a little bit of Yakuza 0. I played a little bit of GTA 5. I'm playing Lego Batman 2 with my nephew, which is so much fun, but also infuriating because when I say go up, like go up, and like he'll go left, and I'll be like, oh God, why are you 4? There's nothing wrong with you. It's just, why are you 4? And the game's like rated 6+. It's there for a reason.
That's why.
Yeah. It's just like, it's kids, right? But I think back, I'm like, all right, I was 4 at some point, and somebody must have sat through this with me. Either way, so
No, I was always good at video games. I was speedrunning Sonic at fucking 8.
No, you weren't. Actually, maybe I was, now looking back, because Sonic was like my go-to. Anyways,
Well, I only had like 3 games to play, so fuck, I better have learned them.
that was me as well. I had Sonic and Tetris, so there you go. But yeah, so I played those few games. Killing Floor is probably the one I put the most amount of time and effort into, and was loving it. But I got the Xbox on Tuesday. I went and picked it up from EB Games. The guy I knew, or like who used to work there when I was a kid from last week's story, he wasn't in that day, which kind of sucked. But I grabbed it. Holy fuck! First of all, that box was the size of my whole front seat. Like, that was a chunky boy. And the fact that PS5 is going to be even bigger than that, like the box, holy shit. Like, I don't even know if I'll be able to carry it.
I think I think the PS5 itself is leaner, just taller.
Yeah, but the box is just like this.
Well, the box
massive-
automatically has to be bigger if it's taller, so.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, you didn't like scream or get scared of all the holes in the system, did you?
No, I didn't.
Are you sure?
Oddly enough, actually, my first comment, and this is more an Xbox versus a gaming comment, I guess. Maybe it's just because I've had a PC for a while, and I never put the extra like $200 or $300 into my PC to get like noiseless fans, like just silent fans, because you can get them. But not really the case I have. Either way, I've never had like a silent computer. You always hear some of the fans going, especially when the more graphics heavy shit is being thrown into a game that I've got on ultra settings. You can hear it whirring. It's silent.
It's eerie, isn't
It's
it?
on right now. It's on right now. And the only reason I know that is because the light's on. I go right up to it. The only time you can hear it is you put your ear right to those holes that are terrifying, and you can hear just like.
But have you played Crisis on it?
No, but I did download Crisis 2.
So, okay,
I'm
so
gonna
the
do Crisis
Xbox,
2 and then 3.
the Xbox you got, it's not discless, right?
No, it has a disc.
No, the Series S is the only one that's discless.
Yeah, I ended up
Okay,
upgrading because of the 4K TV I have.
You don't have a disc in it right now, am I correct?
No.
Okay, so I'm just wondering if it's like while it's silent like this. I'm just wondering if if a disc goes in disk drive, would that be silent as well?
I mean, I would imagine so.
That's what I'm curious.
Yeah, I don't know. I do have a disc. My fiance found Sonic Mania on disc because her dad has an Xbox One. And I was like, "Why does your dad have this?" She's like, "I don't know. Does he know he has it? I don't know." So she gave it to me, and it's in my room, but I don't know what I'm gonna do with it because I already have that on Switch and Steam, and I've played it a lot. I don't think I'm gonna just start it up again on Xbox. Yeah, I
think you
downloaded
will.
probably. I downloaded a bunch of games on the Xbox and kind of goofed around with the system, kind of see where's the profile, how do you check achievements, taking screenshots, all that kind of stuff. First of all, when you take a screenshot, and I'm pretty sure PlayStation is going to be the exact same, judging by the new app, you take a screenshot in game, which is like pressing the share button, and then all of a sudden your phone goes, you took a screenshot. In the console, Vishal, because this will be for you, when you take a picture on the console and you check on the console at your picture, you can share it, but just to your activity, to that game's game club page or some crap, or Twitter. But on your phone, when it goes, you took a screenshot, open it here, you open in the app, it shows all your pictures. You can share it to anything you want, including Instagram.
Okay, so so if you have the Xbox Live app on your phone, if you take a screenshot during gameplay, then you can share it.
Yes, and I imagine this is also what PlayStation's doing, because it's a lot easier to just share it.
Can you share video as well?
30 seconds or a minute, depending on settings.
Okay.
So you have to just press and hold the share button, but then yes, you can share it to the exact same places. I can even one of the places is Discord, so I can actually just take a picture, open up the app, and just send you guys the screenshot of the game I'm playing, which is really cool. Because like on Steam, which is obviously what I'm used to, I can take a screenshot and it saves it to the activity feed of Steam, but then you have to go into Steam, find the screenshot, press share, select Twitter, and then it just opens up the internet browser and Twitter with a link to your image, not the actual image in your tweet, which is super annoying.
Yeah, they're definitely getting a lot better when it comes to YouTube creators and streamers and stuff like that now.
Yes. Oh, it seems pretty fantastic. But the only game I've installed and I've played a few hours of is called Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice. Senua's Sacrifice. There we go.
I really enjoyed what little I played of that game, but it ran so poorly on my computer. Not because I don't have a good enough computer, but because for whatever reason, I guess the optimization doesn't work very well for it.
Yeah, it's so I actually did a test of that game on my PC versus the Xbox Series X, because technically the Xbox is more powerful than my PC, but the Xbox only has the Xbox One enhancement, which is like high graphics, or it has 4K low graphics, or it has steady 60 frames. So I'm assuming that's 1080p. I ended up doing the two. My PC still looks better, but that's only because this game hasn't been enhanced for Xbox Series X. So it's just the Xbox One game that's still locked at like 30 frames a second if you do the 4K version, where if they just would go in and unlock that, it would run way better than even my PC, which is crazy.
Now, the important question is, are you playing it with headphones on?
Yes.
Because you have to. It's like, I think even the game like tells you have to.
It does. So Vishal, I don't know if you've heard of this game.
By the way, imagine this game with Sony's 3D audio.
That's what I was thinking, because when I was using my headphones, these are just like sub $200 headphones. They're like $150. They're not over high quality by any means. And I was thinking like 7.1 audio or something would be amazing. The 3D pulse.
Are these going to be called the Sony Sonic 3DO?
No.
Yes.
That would be retarded. And no, you don't need the 3D pulses. You can use any headset. It's built in. It has nothing to do with your headphones. You can have shitty earbuds and you'll still get 3D audio.
Yeah.
Which game is this again? I'm sorry.
Oh, it's not in this specific case. It's nothing. It's nothing in general. It's just Sony 3D audio in general for the PS5. It doesn't matter what headset you put in. Doesn't have a lot to do with the headphones so much as it has to do with the way that the system is reading the sound.
Yeah, which sounds really cool. And I actually kind of wish I could try that.
Which game are you referring to when you said you don't know if I've heard about this game?
Oh, so Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. So you're a Viking. It's a very story-driven game, very little anything else, a little bit of puzzle, a little bit of combat, but mostly narrative. You're a Viking girl from way back, like a long time ago, and you have schizophrenia.
Oh, yes. Shit.
So you know how in Arkham Knight, how Batman always has Joker in his head? Think that, but like many voices.
Yes, and when you play with headphones, all you're hearing is the game, but also the voices. Some whisper, some yell.
Literally, like the opening of the game, you're on a canoe, like going towards this like foggy area, and there's all these voices being like, "Don't go there. No, she's done what she wants, but it's dangerous." Like it's all over the place, and it's all over your ears, so it's really fucking creepy.
I feel like this is a game that'll actually fuck Adam up a little bit.
It didn't fuck me up, but it was so interesting to hear it like that, because it's such a interesting concept that not too many people do. And it's why I was saying to Chris too, like imagine that with a 3D audio where it actually sounds like you're surrounded.
Yes, because even just with the normal audio, it would sound like somebody was like behind me to the left. and then a little bit in front of me to the right. Like the voices come from a direction.
And these are
And there was the odd time I was like,
standard
I actually
headphones?
turned quickly.
Yeah, it's just regular headphones.
These ones. SteelSeries
Wow.
gaming headset.
That's what the Tempest 3D audio engine, which we'll get into when we talk about the PS5 in not too much longer. Like that's the thing with it, is that you don't have to have the Sony's 3D Pulse headphones. Like the ones that I have on right now, I just plug into the controller. It's the same thing. So what they seem to be working
which will be
towards,
really cool.
and people have said already, like that's one of the like the controller, which we'll also get into, and the audio, like that's what's really setting apart PS5 from Xbox Series X.
Yeah. Really, that's the only game I've played. I've installed a bunch of games. There are just a few ones I have on Steam that I'm like, you know what? There's nothing new on Xbox right now. I'm gonna install some new games that I've never played before. I really want to try Forza Horizon 4 because it changes seasons as you're driving and stuff. So you go from like autumn to summer to winter to spring and that kind of stuff. And I want to see graphics wise because I think that one was enhanced for Series X, so like 4K 60 frames. But yeah, I've only started with Hellblade because I've always wanted to try it. I have it installed on Steam, and then I was like, maybe I should, give them see which one looks nicer. Do a PC versus Xbox kind of thing at home and see the difference. And they look the exact same. It's just the PC was doing 60 frames because the Xbox version was locked because the developers haven't gone in and been like, oh, it's on Xbox Series X now. You can unlock the frame rate because they can handle it. So I hope that actually happens. But amazing game. I'm not too far. And I'm already back to collecting achievements again and trophies and whatnot. On Steam, I did, but there just wasn't the same payoff that I didn't do it anywhere near as much. Like here, just the sound of getting an achievement is amazing. I totally forgot how much I needed that. Because on Steam, you get an achievement. It's just like window pops up, goes back down. It's like, yay. Yeah, like just that sound. It's like, oh, especially that PlayStation one. That's the one I'm most used to. I can't wait to have the PS5 and start earning trophies.
If only you could customize the sound.
Pardon?
If only you could customize the sound.
So on Steam, you can customize all the sounds except the trophy one because Steam started actually saving the sounds on some web server so that you couldn't change it. And they've just have nothing set for trophy sound. So I can't even change the sound of somebody coming online anymore, which sucks. Because on Steam, I've changed the sound of people, like when you move to different games and move around the menus and stuff. I was able to customize all that, but you can't fucking do anything with Steam anymore.
Okay, that's such a simple thing. Like, why would they fucking change that?
I don't know.
Because they know that people use shit they aren't supposed to. Like, that a bunch of people on Steam would just make their trophy sound da-na-na-na.
Yeah.
And Nintendo would get upset because Nintendo gets really mad when you do anything these days. So,
oh my god, that is the exact trophy sound I would make. Because right now it's the Xbox One menu sounds with the PS4 ambient music in the background. Having a Nintendo sound for the achievement pop up would be.
And when any of us come online, it should be the Pokemon sound. Do 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 do.
That'd be too much. It's got to be just a beep.
That's a Zelda sound. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, I was like, what?
Yeah, I know. Sorry.
What were you thinking of? Were you thinking of like the battle thing?
No, yeah, no. It's, you know what? I had the sounds mixed up. Is when you actually find something nowadays in Zelda, it's like do 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 do.
Yes, we know. We did that 3 times.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what's.
I'm moving on. I'm moving on at this point. I think it's safe to say we should move on.
Yeah.
Before we move on, I just want to say one thing. The answer to the question, the greatest game show host of all time.
Richard Dawson.
Rest in peace, Alex Trebek.
Yes.
That's all I want to say. But go on.
It's not like I was going to do that at the end of the show, but thank you.
You're welcome.
So this one's fuck you. I'm doing my personal thing first.
Okay.
Mass Effect is finally fucking a thing again. You know that rumor that no one knew about for like 2 years. of a remaster trilogy. No one in the history, in the entire gaming industry, had any idea that this was something going on.
Greatest secret in gaming history, Adam. Greatest secret.
The worst kept secret in gaming history, aside from the fact that, Cyberpunk was getting delayed again. I don't fucking know. Yeah, they're finally remastering the original trilogy, which is great. I'd love to go back and play them again and be able to see just how amazingly gorgeous all the characters are in that game. Especially, look, I obviously go for the Asari in that game because they're basically just really sexy aliens. But, I mean, at the same time, 4K looking like Quarians and Krogan, all the crazy-ass aliens, man, that's gonna look fucking sick. I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty stoked to be able to play some of these things again, but the more important thing is that they did say that they are actually in pre-production of a new Mass Effect game, which simultaneously makes me really excited and fucking terrified at the same time, so I'm not really sure which direction to take at this point. I'm not, because I think they knew that they couldn't just say that this was their big announcement, because it would be like, okay, what do we have then? And I don't even know if they may not even be starting really any production to. They just may be thinking, yeah, we're going to make a Mass Effect game. That could literally be all they said. Just guys, we're going to make a Mass Effect game. It's like, fucking hope everybody so. You better avenge the loss that Andromeda was.
Yeah.
It's like, hey guys, we're going to try one more time to make a game after we ruin something. Oh, if you're BioWare, not make a Mass Effect game, because fuck, they can't make any money off of a Mass Effect game now.
This news is good, but now I don't know what I'm going to do, because I have Mass Effect 1 and 2 on Steam, and I never played it because there was no controller support.
Well, you're not going to play the original 2 on Steam anytime soon, so you might as well wait for the Legendary Edition just to go cheap. You're going to have way too many PlayStation Plus games to play first.
Yeah, that's true. Because I also have on EA Play, within Game Pass, all of the Mass Effects, and I was like, oh, I can finally play them with a controller. And then this news came out, and I'm like, well, I don't want to play the shitty 360 version.
Yeah, just hope they put the Legendary Edition on EA Play then.
And wait till it's on EA Play. It'll probably be a year after launch. Holy shit, that's exactly what will happen.
Because, I mean, look, you got look, you said you wanted to play all the Yakuza games. You still haven't even finished Zero yet. You wanted to go through all the Trails games. My friend, you gotta pick your battles here.
My issue is that Yakuza has too many awesome side stuff.
That is the one problem. I finally converted one of my another friend into it, because he already listens to the show, so he's seen what Zero looks like, and he's been watching Carnage on Twitch playing the new one like a dragon, and he's like, dude, this is fucking amazing. It's just wacky bullshit. I'm like, that's all of them. That's literally every Yakuza game.
It's wacky bullshit with some dark content.
It's not. No, it's not. I wouldn't say it's dark content. It's just really deep, heavy storytelling.
It does have some heavy moments, but I wouldn't say any of it's dark.
It's more like a telenovela than it would be like a dark story.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. I'm stuck in chapter 5. I've been there for 3 months because of the stupid business stuff where it's just buy all the real estate and oh my god, and I love it.
Hey Chris,
so much.
that was a great way to get me to segue. Speaking of really dumb business stuff, Square Enix.
Oh, that is a good segue.
Square Enix lost 6.5 billion yen, which is about $62 million US, in the quarter that in that period that they released Marvel's Avengers, because it flopped so bad. I can't even believe the number apparently that they sold was around 3 million copies, which I'm like, really? They did only that much still?
Yeah, that's crazy.
This was wrong. I'm gonna pick this game an easy license for them to do.
The best part too is they said, "Oh, we're delaying the launch of the PS5, Xbox Series X version of it." I'm like, yeah, I'm sure the couple hundred people left playing this game are really disappointed right now.
Yeah.
This should have been the game of the year for us.
If you pick it up, you're playing solo, my friend. I don't think you can pay me to play that game.
Yeah, dude, I'm sorry. I'm not wasting my money on this shit.
Well, I'm gonna get it when it's $10.
Unless it gets put on PlayStation Plus Collection somehow.
I would be the first fucking person to buy it.
But I don't even know if Sony would be like, I don't think we can in good conscience put this on here. They put Destiny on there first. Actually, wait, is Destiny 2 on? I can't remember.
It'll come to Game Pass.
Well, Destiny 2 is free to play. It doesn't have to be, now that I think about it. Never mind.
Oh, that's also true.
Maybe that's the only way. Marvel's Avengers has to be free to play.
That's true. See, if it did go free to play, no,
They
that would
may
worry
they
me
may
because
not
of
have a
the
choice.
microtransactions.
They honestly may not have a
No,
choice.
I
The way they
think-
microtransaction that game, it might be better in their best interest anyway, because then it would look a little less shitty with all the crazy microtransactions they tried to shove on you in that game.
What about
Yeah.
would the campaign mode also be free to play?
Well, the idea is that the game itself would be free to play. You just have all the microtransactions in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what Destiny 2 is now. I mean, you pay for the new expansions now, but the entire game as it stands when it went free to play was all free.
Is that crossplay Destiny 2?
I believe so now, yes.
Ooh, we should play that.
I don't know if I could get back in. That's my problem.
Adam play like Adam.
Here's
put
the
a
other
lot
thing
out,
too.
and he
It's-
said he doesn't like Destiny.
It's
2.
the same thing that I told you guys with Avengers. There's a reason why I would never suggest we play. Like, Outriders, I'm still iffy on. You can't play those games casually. Like, what we do every week, one day a week, would not work. We'd have to play that consistently.
You know. Okay. You know what? I can't have another Dungeons and Dragons situation. So we're not playing.
I'm not going to be an
Outriders.
asshole to you. I'm just saying that we'd have to play daily or at least almost every day to be able to keep up.
Oh my. Okay. No, we are not touching this fucking game. I am not at least.
But back to Avengers. Yeah, Square Enix
Back
lost
to
a lot of
Avengers.
money,
It
which
sucks.
I'm sure. Thank God, Final Fantasy VII's remake wasn't so bad because that probably softened the blow a little bit.
I'm
Yep.
pretty sure that was very profitable for them.
So,
And well deserved, because I heard it's very good. It's good.
I mean, I hope they fix the game. Actually, you know what? No, fuck you. I hope you don't fix the game because I want it to continue to be a piece of shit because I want to have this example to keep giving to people. Be like, guys, don't fall for it. Because I said from the very beginning when I saw the first footage of this game, I'm like, this looks really bad potentially. And I was fucking right.
Maybe it'll come to PS Plus or Game Pass or something, and we can play it for free.
And believe me,
That
I
would be
take
one
great
way.
pleasure in saying that I called something and was correct. I take nothing gets me up
I
more
have
at night.
Never
Nothing gets me up
noticed that
more.
about you ever. You have never given any sign of that mentality in the almost 7 years I've known you.
I mean,
You have
hey.
never once shown that.
I mean, how's my track record doing? Seems to be doing pretty good.
You got a point.
The only time you were painfully wrong about was the previous presidential administration. But even then, you admitted that.
Yeah, but
will
I
give you
also
that.
I also didn't say he was going to be a good president. I just said, he's not going to fucking do anything. And I was right for about 3 years until it just went complete to shit. But
Yeah,
hey,
but that-
when I even got friends to admit that, hey, Ben Affleck actually wasn't that bad a choice for Bruce Wayne. Like, he actually looks good as Batman. And the movie kind of sucked. That's a different story. But at least then, like, most people were like, hey, okay, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I said this, I'm saying the same thing about Pattinson, and I can't wait to see people be like, okay, yeah, that was not so bad.
Well,
I think Pattinson's gonna be
actually, the difference with Pattinson is I don't know if it's the difference, but
No, dude, there was
Well-
more of a stink on Pattinson when he got announced than Affleck. Let's be honest. Everybody just immediately went,
no,
not the
I-
fucking
honestly,
Twilight guy.
Because Pattinson has a lot of very strong acting roles.
You're making the mistake
he's
of
just-
caring about that stuff. No one in the comic book community gives a shit about that. They just saw, okay, Ben Affleck, for as far as we know, is a comic book nerd. He might give it props. And then everybody just saw Robert Pattinson, that fucking gay-ass vampire.
He sparkles.
Adam-
If you're
Adam's
going the
allowed to-
Oscar route, no one cares because that's not what Batman is.
No, I don't know, man. I wouldn't go that far.
Okay.
like Batman is
Yeah.
the character that you actually can have a.
Okay, let me
a
rephrase
solid
it.
opponent for.
The internet version of these film watchers.
Fair enough. I
Reddit.
feel like you know what. Let's cut this conversation off for now because this is something like I can definitely talk hours and hours about.
And we did. That's
So-
why I wouldn't want us to go back that way
yeah.
again.
Let's carry on to
Yeah.
the next topic. I'm gonna stop this conversation.
Thank
now.
you. That's the one good thing you've done in the last 50 episodes, Vish. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Vish. Vish, please.
Oh, you know what? I'll even be nice.
And
I'll
that's
type
the
you.
trend.
I'll type a thank you, Vish, in the chat, so it even shows on the screen. There we go. Oh, isn't it beautiful?
Okay,
Yay.
where are we going with this, by the way?
Nowhere.
That Avengers sucks.
No, it's my gift to you.
All right.
Speaking of gifts, Chris is hoping to get one soon, and that being the PS5. So this is.
I actually had just looked at my phone, and there is no delivery date or anything yet.
Some people have been getting them, some haven't. I also want to remind people, guys, there's a pandemic going on. Relax. If it takes a couple extra days, fucking chill.
Yeah, it's
fine.
going to take an extra few days.
It's
I don't care if it's still next
fine.
week.
It's fine. But the PS5, yeah, it's a thing. It's coming out tomorrow, at least here in North America. Sorry, Europe. You're getting it in another week, apparently, for reasons, I guess.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, they're getting it. Europe is getting it on the 19th for some reason. I don't even know why, and I don't care to know why, because I don't think there's a reason legit enough for that one part of the world gets it sooner than another.
Yeah, no, that doesn't make sense.
They do that with a lot of movie releases, and it irritates the shit out of me.
Yeah, either way.
So-
Pricing, digital, $3.99 US, $4.99 Canadian, £3.59, €3.99. I forgot euros the last time. I'm not making that mistake again. Sorry, Europe. And $5.99 Australian. The disc version, which by the way is not like the Series S and Series X. The disc and the digital version are the exact same in terms of what they are. The difference is just the disc. That's it. They're the exact same console. Disc version $4.99 US, $6.29 Canadian, £4.49, €4.99, and $7.49 Australian. But yeah, the fact too that again you're getting a cheaper console, and the only difference is that you just don't put discs in it. Whereas the Series S is progressively cheaper than the Series X, but the S is like a much weaker console. It really shows you what Sony has managed to put together in a digital only console. That's pretty incredible.
To be entirely honest, I think that's fucking amazing that both systems are equally powerful. It's just the difference of digital and physical media, where with the Xbox, it's like, this one's good. This you can buy this one, but it's a lot weaker. That shouldn't be. That's not cool.
So yeah, specs. I'm actually going to compare this to the Series X as well, just so we have more of a comparison. Because if I just throw stats at you this time, it's going to mean nothing. So the CPU, 8 cores, 16 threads at 3.5 gigahertz for the PS5. The Xbox Series X is 0.3 gigahertz, a little bit faster. It just means they're going to process a little bit quicker. However, Sony makes up for it in the GPU, which is insane. It's only 10.3 teraflops compared to Xbox's 12.155. However, the actual speed of the GPU, the Xbox Series X is 1.825. The PS5 is 2.23 gigahertz, up to. That is some fast graphic processing time. So it may not be able to have as much of a polygon count, but it doesn't really matter when it loads everything fucking like, what, 25% faster?
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's kind of the theme, it seems, between Xbox and PlayStation. Xbox has a little bit more power, will maybe show something a little prettier, like a little bit of a higher polygon count, but PlayStation will get to where it's going a lot quicker.
Now, either way, keep in mind, this is also a
in.
console that's only costing you $400 or $500, depending on where you are here in North America. That's pretty insane.
Yeah. My computer is looking at me crying right now. It's just looking at me. Why don't you love me like you love the PlayStation?
The next time you go to your you actually have to go to the office. The compete while you're gone, the computer is going to be masturbating, crying, thinking about you.
Yep.
I'm all
hopefully
alone.
growing hands.
I'm so lost without you. Memory is about the same, 16 gigabytes they're using. The memory bandwidth is a little bit faster on the Xbox. Again, that's to be expected, though. It's a beefier console. Both of them have a 1 terabyte SSD storage. As far as I know, I think the PlayStation 5's official one, I think it was like... Well, I can't remember what the number.
5.5, like 5,500 megabytes a second or something like that.
Well, no, I'm not talking about the I/O. I'm talking just about like how much disk drive space you get. I can't remember what the number was now.
Oh, so it's 825, but it goes down to 6.
It was like 660 something, I think.
660. Yeah, I've noticed both consoles, no matter which one you get, 150 gigs goes to the OS and all the features. Like those being able to resume the games instantly. It's because the entire game state is saved on the SSD.
So don't worry, guys. You can fit Modern Warfare on there, but you probably can't play much else on it.
Yeah, but that's Modern Warfare.
But yeah, the IO throughput. This is where it's insane. Like for Sony, so the IO throughput. I keep saying throughput. The throughput is 5.5 gigabytes per second raw, but it can be up to 9 gigabytes compressed. Compared to Xbox, it's only 2.4 gigabytes raw and 4.8 gigabytes compressed. So raw IO on the PS5 is faster than the compressed version on the Series X. That's where Sony's trying to make up its speed. It's trying to make it so much faster by that kind of power rather than just going straight graphical power.
And the crazy part is that I've been doing quick resume on the Xbox, and it's 3 seconds to, or if it's the last game you played, instant. Like the entire game is in a save state that instantly comes up. Thinking of those speeds and then doubling them,
I saw a video earlier today of somebody playing Miles Morales and literally fast traveling from the corner of the map to the other corner of the map, and it was that. Like there's not screen fades out, screen fades right back in, and you're there. I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah.
As somebody who used to grow up playing like obviously games on the PlayStation 2, it's mind blowing to me.
Oh yeah. Even just some of the comparison videos of like the PS5 where it's them loading up Red Dead Redemption 2 and the game takes from a start screen like right from the beginning and not skipping anything at the beginning. It's like
that's
15 seconds.
That the fucking like quick loading that is going with this gen is going to really show.
It already has. The video
showed it. Yeah.
It's like we're playing games back on the like Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo, where there were no loading screens. The difference is it's not 16 or 32-bit. It's fucking 4K.
Yeah, I think Red Dead loaded up in 17 seconds from a cold boot on PS5, and on PS4 it was like 2 minutes and 40 seconds.
Yeah.
Like it's a long load that you'd like basically, all right, let's load this game and go make a coffee.
It's the whole thing. Like the one game I really noticed it big time happening was Metroid Prime 3 on the Nintendo Wii. There was places where you were traveling as Samus from one location to another. It was a clever way of showing like Samus traveling through a rail, basically, a rail train, going from one location to another. And it was a load screen, but it was hidden as...
So it was an elevator.
Yeah.
We've been doing that for years. Yes. Mass Effect did that all the time, which drove me nuts.
Yeah. So that is one thing that...
You don't have to hide shit anymore. You don't have to have a long staircase to hide the map as it loads. You don't need to have an elevator sequence. You don't have to have loading screens. You just go.
The OG version of that I found was Resident Evil with the doors.
Well, that's what I mean. You don't have to do that shit anymore. If you do it, it's purely aesthetic.
No. Yeah.
You know what's going to be funny? You know games that have a loading screen, but there's dialogue where that gives you a bit more story between the loading screens.
What are they going to do when they can't give you tips for like 15 minutes every time you load something?
Like you're going to go to load in the next part, it's going to have the dialogue come out, and it's just going to stop.
I said, what are they going to do when they can't give you the loading screen tips anymore?
I guess
you know what you're gonna have to do? Fucking learn to play the game, you dumb son of a bitch.
I think it'll be a HUD coming up explaining, press this button at this time, or press these.
That's the thing I worry, is that they're gonna make in-game tutorials even fucking dumber because they think that people. Well, let's be honest, some gamers are pretty fucking stupid. So I guess that makes sense.
They're very.
And one of them's on the show. Hey-o!
Hey.
Yeah, Chris.
About yourself this way.
Sorry, guys. It's who I am, and I accept it.
Let's see. What was the next thing I had here? The SSD slot. It will be. What?
Sorry.
Do I have to boot you off this call again? I'm moving on now. So the SSD slot we know is customizable. At this point, Sony is still not giving us a list of M2 SSDs to use yet, which makes sense because you shouldn't be spending a shit ton of money on something that might not work.
Do some tests.
There will be external storage, so you can use HDDs. It's mostly for PlayStation 2 games. They've told you that, honestly, the smartest thing to do, install any PS5 game on your SSD, and if you got PS4 games back, just keep it on an HDD and store it externally. That's the best way of doing it, which makes perfect sense. Obviously, Ultra HD Blu-ray. You're getting 4K Blu-ray for the first time in a game console, which is pretty sweet. Otherwise, yeah, there's the Tempest 3D audio engine.
Will it what's the word I'm looking for? Upgrade regular DVDs to 4K or no?
No, because the DVD is not
No.
4K.
Yeah, the DVD has
what's the
a
word I'm
video file that's only
Upscale.
480p.
It might upscale to your TV screen, but it's not going to upscale the quality.
Okay.
No, it's gonna get a little blurrier.
It'll be like when you play a fucking Game Boy Advance emulator and try to full screen it and keep the output, and it just looks all grainy. But yeah, like it's the big one is the Tempest audio. That's the big one to me. I can't wait to hear what that sounds like. Just to be able to hear, like, imagine playing like a game like a Call of Duty and just sitting in the middle of the map and just listening to all the gunfire and explosions going around you like it's literally in the middle of a war zone. That would be incredible to listen to. Can you imagine like being able to have that capacity for like films like at such a cheap level? Like having that level of audio in your ears. That'd be insane. That's something down the road that'd be
I don't
pretty
usually
crazy.
play with headphones. I think that this console is going to make me want to use it more. Like
With
headphone
the,
gameplay.
Yeah, because there's going to be customizable options for it too. You're going to be able to customize the profile a little bit more, so you get certain sounds amplified a bit better. That's probably like there are going to be two things I do the second I get the console. Obviously, play Astro's Playroom just to test out the actual controller, which I'll get into in a moment, and then just tweak around with the 3D options because I want to just see how amazing because you can literally customize it as much as possible to be perfect for your ears. Which was a big thing they advertised when they were doing that the really boring like press conference with Mark Kearney. He really emphasized that you can customize this to basically be your profile so that it's completely your 3D audio profile and nobody else's. So it's beautiful.
Wasn't there like ear molds or something they were talking about?
They were doing stuff like that as well, where they were trying to find like the best ways to do it. They were really going deep in on the audio front, which makes perfect sense because you can only do so much with graphics. So what's the next best thing you can upgrade that would make people immersed in what they're doing? The audio. Get the sound going.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's definitely so good. The simplest option because gameplay is very subjective, I would say.
I mean, it depends on what game you're playing too. Like if you're playing a fucking like side scroller, it doesn't really matter how realistic the gameplay looks, but if the sound sounds amazing, it kind of gets you going. So
that's the thing. What I'm saying is attributes like visual and audio attributes are easy to measure, manipulate, and enhance. Where gameplay, it's just very subjective. Some people just prefer very simple gameplay where they have to press one button or you can just tap the screen. Whereas with us, we prefer a little more in-depth gameplay where we have the ability to do more things, but in a fluid way.
Well, that's why we're console gamers and not mobile gamers. So
I understand. All I'm saying is gameplay is subjective, where audio and visual aspects can be essentially enhanced and manipulated in a way that is easy to grade, I would say.
Yeah.
I don't know how to respond to that.
That's why I responded with yeah.
I don't really care much about the ports and stuff. So other than that, the controller is going to be the other big thing. I've seen people showing what it looks like when you're firing a gun and how the actual trigger shakes like it's a fucking recoil, which is it seems like such a little thing, but that's the kind of shit that's going to make a difference.
Did either of you see the Digital Foundry video where they walked through just the controller?
I've seen like clips of it. I haven't seen the whole thing.
Or
what?
The PS5 controller?
Yes, the PS5 controller. Oh my god.
I'm hearing some amazing shit about that fucking thing.
Yeah, so the video, they do one part where they're in Astro's Playroom, because obviously it's the best example, and they go through a bunch of different spots, and all they do is they let some sound come through the speaker, because there's a speaker on the controller, and they let the controller sits on this glass surface. So when the vibrations go, you hear the vibrations. It's as close as they can do, because obviously through YouTube, you can't make somebody feel what it feels like. Sandstorm comes by and hits the character. the controller, as it's rumbling, it sounds like grains of sand going across the glass. Then there's one where the Astro guy is going along ice, and as it's there, the controller actually is making this weird, like the right of the controller is making this gliding on ice sound, and then the left side is, and it's the feet.
Yeah,
of the
I've
guy
heard things from
ice
people
skating.
saying that, like, if you're standing somewhere where it's raining, the controller will actually make you feel like you're being like rained on with individual drops.
Yes, and there was something about rain, and you can actually feel the rain on your fingertips.
Sorry, what was that, Vish?
The vibrations?
Yeah, like it almost feels like if like there were single raindrops like falling on your hand.
Guys, I don't want to fucking spend $700 right now.
Then don't spend $700 right now.
Luckily for you, the discless version is just under that.
So you know what? I'll say this. Tomorrow is the launch day, and there are going to be consoles intended to be available. I know what I said. I am going to try to get a digital copy tomorrow. I'm going to try. I don't think I will. The reason for that, and I know that I said I would boycott. Here's the reason why I said I won't.
1 minute to do that.
What?
Because it's 10:09 p.m. In Hamilton time. So if it says it's going on sale on
most sites
tomorrow,
have said they're doing it 11 a.m. Eastern. You think I haven't researched this shit?
I didn't know that.
That's why I'm the host. I do the research. I'm going to do it because, or at least I'm going to try because, not because I fell into the hype train, but because this year has been so fucking terrible for me personally. The last 6 months especially, I feel like I've deserved something, and this is like my way of saying, dude, like this is for you. Like this isn't an investment for like my gaming hobby. This is an investment for my fucking mental health. That's what this potentially is. So I'm gonna try my ass off to get one, but I'm assuming I won't because the odds are pretty unlikely.
This is Adam doing.
Hey, you never know. We can do it with you.
If it's 11 a.m., Adam, you let me know, and if I can get one, I'll help you out with that.
I mean, I'll appreciate every help that I can get. I mean, I'm going to be sitting there hoping to God that I'm not busy at work at 11 a.m. and just spamming
please,
refresh.
Coworkers, if somehow you hear this, please.
It's coworker, but you know, I don't want people to know. It's fun. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to try to see if I can get a digital console. I thought about getting the disc console. I honestly did. And then my brain went, wait, the only disc I would possibly put into a new console is Cyberpunk. And if I really want to play Cyberpunk on the PS5 so badly, I'll wait till it goes on sale. It's like, I'll be fine. So.
Okay, so Adam, you remind me in the morning because I'm going to try.
Hey, that's post-show shit. Let's keep going. Let's talk about PlayStation.
Post-show. That's post-show.
Okay.
PlayStation. It's like the Lego movie. PlayStation.
Spaceship.
PlayStation.
So Jesus. I really so one amazing aesthetic I just appreciate is the grip of it. Is the button.
It's not just the grip. Apparently, the console plate is like that. Controller. The headphones are like that. Plate. The charging pad is like they did it with everything that's got that white, surface to it.
Okay, that's just cool.
It's such a little thing, and it does. Yeah. Although I am starting to get a little bit annoyed that everybody's like, "Hey, isn't it interesting that this is on the controller?" And we're like, "Yes, we've known about this for months. You fucking imbecile! Stop trying to clickbait for upvotes, you dumbass."
Yeah, that was July, I think.
I don't know. The word imbecile just makes me laugh every time.
You nincompoop.
No,
I can't wait for some of the games too.
Speaking of games, thanks for giving me that segue. Launch titles. That's the big one. So here's the problem. Xbox was pretty clear with what their launch titles were. PlayStation 5 was not as clear. So I might be missing something. Something may actually be wrong that's on this list. I don't know at this point. But this is the list that I tried to snaggle together based on what seemed to coincidentally like pop up on this site and this site as well and this site as well. I did my best. So this is what I could put together. So in alphabetical order, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, fuck Ubisoft like we did last week. Astro's Playroom, which is free and installed on the console before you even launch it. So you could be waiting for something to download and you can play Astro's Playroom. So no problem.
That is why they did it. I was thinking about that, and that's why they did it.
Your first game that you're waiting to download, just play another game while you're waiting.
Yep.
Side note, I can't
love
wait to
that.
not have to fucking update a game after it's already downloaded. Now it won't like have to overwrite all the stuff it needs to overwrite on top of downloading the game. It's gonna be so nice when it just downloads it and that's it. Because the way that it usually works on PS4 is it'll download, but then it has to also install it on top of it. So it has to go through and individually like replace everything that it has to overwrite. And it takes sometimes the actual process of that takes longer than the download, and it's fucking frustrating. So that won't be a problem. But anyways, Borderlands 3, Bug Snacks, which apparently is really good. Like apparently it's a lot more interesting than people were expecting it to be. It's also going to be free this month for PlayStation Plus. So that's even better. It's free.
Yeah.
Demon Souls, which I'm not going to lie, as much as I hate myself and usually don't like those games, I think I want to try it at some point. I won't get it right away because I'm not paying that much for a game that's going to whip my ass. But man, I saw the first 18 minutes of that game. Oh my god, it looks so fucking pretty.
I was talking to Mike from Northwolf, who we had on the show, and he's saying of all the PS5 games, that's the one he is like ultra excited for.
It just looks so
he
crisp and
seems like
clean.
he would like that.
My god.
I feel like that will be the first of the launch titles besides Bug Snacks that'll end up on PS Plus. Something about the Demon Souls game makes me feel like it'll end up on PS
one's
Plus
tough.
in
I mean, it might.
In like 6 months to a year. I'm not talking like in December.
Probably just because, yeah, you know what, you're probably right, just because it's not like it's competing with much. I mean, Ratchet's not like if Ratchet was coming at a launch, that's where I think it could have been a competition. But now that Ratchet's coming at later in 2021,
yeah, that's true. Ratchet would definitely be a PS Plus one.
Ratchet probably would have come first, but
yeah.
Moving on, so Destiny 2 Beyond Light, which is basically just the new expansion for Destiny 2. Destiny 2 on its own is free to play. Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition, that's digital only. Dirt 5, which I didn't put this in the news, but Codemasters just got bought up by Take-Two, which is 2K and Rockstar. I don't personally think that, like, I hate conglomerates, but this is literally just racing games going into a company, so it's not like, this isn't like BioWare getting snatched up by shit. This isn't like Respawn getting snatched up, shit. This isn't like Bethesda, shit. Alright, we're running out of options. Fortnite, who cares? Godfall, which, man, like, I see a lot of people saying that this could be interesting. Every time I look at that game, I just look at that and be like, that's the launch title that every year is just not that great. It's just a graphic showcase like what Rise of Rome was, like what Order 1886 was. I just look at Godfall and that's the vibe I get from it. I just think it's something that's just there to showcase the console. I
have zero interest in that game.
Maybe that game's the first one to go on PlayStation Plus.
Oh, I won't even download it. I don't want it.
I have no idea what this game is. It's called Goonya Fighter. I have no idea. If only it was Goomba Fighter. Damn, so close.
Oh my god! Yes, please.
Maneater, like I said last week, the you get to play as Jaws game. 2 Spider-Man Remastered, and Spider-Man Miles Morales, which I'm sure Chris is very excited about.
Holy
from what I'm hearing is that, from what I'm reading and everything, it's like Spider-Man Miles Morales and Spider-Man is essentially one game extended, really.
Miles Morales, from what I'm being told, is actually a better story and more interesting. It's just a shorter game. It's like 8 to 10 hours, which I'm like, hey, I'm not going to complain if it's a really good 8 to 10 hours.
Okay, so
although I'll make it more like 20, let's be honest.
The Resident Evil 3 remake compared to Resident Evil 2.
Yeah, but we're not talking quality. Like, you don't like the 3. You don't like what 3 is.
I am talking about quality because I found Resident Evil 3, while it was significantly shorter, the game itself I thought was better.
Oh, really? Because it was the other way around. I thought everybody hated 3 and loved 2. That's what I was. That's where I was going.
It was the length of time, really. That was the only thing, because I beat Resident Evil 3 in one night because I just was like, I'm just gonna just.
Well, I don't think it's an equivalent comparison, because by the sounds of it, nobody hates Miles Morales. Like, everybody is loving that game, whereas a lot of people really had an issue with 3 compared to 2. So in this case, it just seems like it's basically more Spider-Man, which you can't complain about.
Yeah, I guess.
And you have Spider-Cat. You say anything bad about Spider-Cat, you fucking. That's when we send out the torches and pitchforks at you.
Dude, I used to like go up north weekly. I was surprised. I never once got pitchforks chased after me.
I don't really feel like as much as certain authors out in the game journal. Oh, there goes. Oh, something broke.
Yeah, no, he messaged us. He is having some technical difficulties.
Oh. Oh no. See, when I'm here on Discord, I know I just totally broke Discord. I don't have Discord the chat up because of that, so that was weird. But anyways, Chris is back.
Can you guys hear me?
That was weird.
I've just discovered how fast my computer really restarts itself. That is
Dude,
fast.
I know.
That was the full reboot.
I was ready to just rant on like nonsense for like 10 minutes until.
And I would have punched you. I would have kicked you off mid. Like, fuck it. It's an R podcast. That's all it's gonna be. Screw it.
Arr, welcome to the Pirate Podcast. We have
no, it's gonna be R as an R rated, which is gonna be every normal podcast that I'm on. Speaking of R rated, back to the list: Mortal Kombat 11, NBA 2K21, aka fuck 2K,
Gold version or Gold Plus version. Where you have to spend another fucking $50.
Can you stop being so triggered about Mortal Kombat, you fucking whiny bitch? Holy shit!
No, this is fucking stupid.
Then don't buy it. Stop complaining.
I don't think I can anymore.
Then don't. Here's how you solve the problem. If you don't want to see these things ever happen again, don't fucking pay for it.
Yeah, I don't think that's happening again.
Well, there you go. Moving back on. NBA 2K21, like I said, fuck 2K for basically another gambling simulator. Hope that shit also gets dealt with like everybody's dealing with fucking EA with their bullshit. No Man's Sky, which I'd be curious just to see what that looks like in 4K in that kind of setup, because the game is a hell of a lot better than it was at launch. I wish I could go back to it now, but I don't think I could, just because I remember how bored I was playing the original version of the game. Observer System Redux, which is a horror game, in which case, no fucking thank you. Overcooked All You Can Eat. That's a multiplayer game we should be playing together at some point if we can get it cheap on Steam. Overcooked is fucking fun.
100%. Yes, we should get Overcooked. I have a party cooking game.
So basically, it's just a game where you all have to try to cook shit together, and it's just pure fucking chaos. Like, there's a map where, say, you're on a pirate ship, where every once in a while a wave hits and all the tables move all across the map, so you try to have to keep up with it. It's just fucking goofy shit. It's very much like Killing Floor in the sense of you can just play a couple of rounds and just be done, and like you don't have to go too crazy with it.
Yeah.
Another one I've never heard of, The Pathless. That's probably just an indie game. Planet Coaster, which I said last week, basically, discount Roller Coaster Tycoon.
It's not discounted. It is way better than Roller Coaster Tycoon. I have that on Steam. They put it's such a good game. Like, they basically took the concept of Roller Coaster Tycoon and made it good again. Such a good game. I highly suggest playing it if you like that style of game.
I don't think I could, just because it's I don't know, those kind of games don't work with me anymore. Like, I try getting into like things like SimCity and City Skylines. All those games I don't get enough out of. Like, Sims is like the one that breaks that mold.
I can play all those. The same company made a Jurassic Park
I'm
park
surprised
game.
That you play The Sims in general.
It's really less because of the game and more just I like being creative with it. So I like creating houses. I like creating characters, and I just like making them all fuck. That's basically as simple as The Sims is for me.
That sounds like my life.
Is quitting his job to become a porn director. Everybody.
Porn set director.
Here's the thing.
He also likes building the.
If I was going to be working in the porn industry, that's not going to go over very well, because I'm going to want to completely change the industry because it's fucking gross. But I'm not going on that conversation.
Also, we'd have to turn you into a cartoon.
No, how is the porn industry gross?
I don't want to talk about it because that's a whole nother fucking podcast right there. Moving back on.
Sound like a
okay, here's a really, really fun segue. Speaking of porn, Sack Boy, A Big Adventure.
I like it.
Which I won't play, not because it has to do anything to do with the porn industry, but just because that game doesn't seem like it's much up my alley.
Yeah, I can't get into the Sackboy games on Big Planet.
No. Warhammer Chaos Bane Slayer Edition, cool, I guess. Warhammer games.
Yeah.
Watch Dogs Legion, which I will not play unless it's under $10 because I don't owe Ubisoft anything right now. And then World Rally Championships 9, and that's literally the list. That's the list that I found. That seems to be consistent.
I think you're being a little generous about the $10.
Well, at that point, $10 for a game that's going to take me 20, 30 hours, I think I can't really complain at that point. But that's not all.
That's true.
There is the PlayStation Plus collection as well, which Chris is going to fucking get so much value out of.
Chris,
Yeah,
wake up
I
to
need
this morning.
all of them.
So the official list, direct from Sony, strictly their studios. This is the list from their studios alone. Bloodborne, Days Gone, Detroit Become Human, God of War, Infamous Second Son, Ratchet and Clank, Last Guardian, Last of Us Remastered, Until Dawn, and Uncharted 4. That's just first party.
Wow. That's a pretty fucking great...
if they stop there, that's a pretty good list of free games. But there's also the third-party editions, which is Batman Arkham Knight, Battlefield 1, Call of Duty Black Ops 3, Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, Fallout 4, Final Fantasy 15, which got recently upgraded to the Royal Edition now, Monster Hunter World, Mortal Kombat 10, Persona 5, and Resident Evil 7. That is a sick list of games. You got a little something
really
of
good
everything.
List, but I am
you got your horror stuff because you got Until Dawn and you got Resident Evil. You have all your bro shooters in Battlefield and Call of Duty and Fallout. You have your Japanese stuff in Persona 5, Monster Hunter, and Final Fantasy. And then you got the crazy, just top tier fucking like first party stuff in Uncharted, Infamous, God of War. Man. And that's all just for the price of the monthly fee that you already would have been paying if you were a PS4 user.
And I already bought 2 years.
That's sick.
I am so excited for that list. I've already pre-ordered the Ultimate Edition or whatever of Miles Morales because I wanted Spider-Man Remastered. Because I don't actually own that game. I played it on PS Now. So I can't go back and play it because I think it's not even on there anymore.
Yeah.
And the saves are transferring, so I can just continue right where I left off. I'm one of like 3 people that mattered to. But I'm going to play Miles Morales and Spider-Man. I'm going to play it again or finish it off. And I am going to jump into Uncharted 4 and then God of War so hard.
Side note too with Spider-Man, people got really freaked out because they saw a comparison of what it looks like on the PS4 Pro to the PS5, and it looked really orange, and people were like, what the fuck did they change? Here's what they changed. There's a third weather setting. There's now a dawn setting as well in the game that they added. So now the opening part of the game starts at sunrise. That's why it looks so orange in a lot of the footage. Cool. So there's now 3 different light settings. There's sunrise, there's dawn, there's day, and then there's night.
That is cool.
Oh shit, guys. We get to have a phenomenal moment in the history of this podcast. Episode 50, and we hit our milestone. I'm about to ban the first person from our chat because he's spamming follows. We just got a bot in our chat.
Nice.
Ban, bitch!
Get him.
So my nephew from India actually, it turns out he has Discord as well, and he added me. And I'm actually, I was going to tell him tomorrow, you know what, join our Discord.
Yeah, speaking of which, you should join our Discord, which is in the YouTube description as well as the Twitch profile for me if you ever want to go into there. But yeah.
Yeah, it's www.egirls.com/ginandchris.
Damn. Getting in front of there with the plugs.
It's not.
All e-girls are with him.com.
So yeah.
No, seriously, join our Discord though.
I'm
gonna play so many good PlayStation games.
It's so weird to me because I don't know if I'm actually like more excited for this generation than I've ever been before. I think it's also just because it might be the first generation that I'm truly excited for as one who's spending the money.
True.
Because, I mean, I've only really been excited for 2 generations, because I really didn't pay that much attention into games until the PS4 generation. I got really, like, deep into financial control of my gaming habits around the 360, but I already owned a console, so it didn't matter. I wasn't looking forward to a PS2, because as a kid, I wasn't paying attention. I just saw one day that there was a new console in stores, and I convinced my folks to buy it, and I ended up playing every JRPG under the fucking sun on it.
I think what...
Oh, I was so into those generations of gaming.
Because my upgrade was Nintendo to PlayStation. So there's about 2 generations in between that I missed.
Yeah.
So,
you guys missed out on a lot.
Fish.
Yep.
It's not a Nintendo. It's a Nintendo Entertainment System.
Do you even game, bro?
Like, Nintendo made that canon. You don't call it a Nintendo. Fuck. If I had a Geralt, if I had a Henry Cavill Geralt emote, that's what I would be spamming in chat right now. Fuck.
Fuck.
It's probably there.
So
that's
so good.
With the like, I think I was the most excited for the PS1 to PS2.
In terms of graphical changes, that was probably the biggest upgrade.
Possibly, yeah.
I was big into that one. I was really big into that one, but it's because it was about when I would buy my own system. It was like the end of high school, beginning of university-ish. Like, it was right around that time. And it was when I was like putting money aside. Because I got an N64, but I was buying my own games for my N64, and it was like me doing that jump. Oh, I was so excited during that generation. One of the best ones in my life.
Like, shit, you look at what, say, Final Fantasy IX, the last Final Fantasy we released on PlayStation, and look at Final Fantasy X looks like. That's just an insane change.
Yeah. That was the first time we actually saw gameplay that was cutscene graphic quality. That's what I would say about that.
I remember seeing the water physics in Final Fantasy X, and it blew me away. I stood next to a lake and I just stared at it for like a minute. I remember
the lighting effects in Metal Gear Solid 2 where Snake would hide in a shaded area and people wouldn't see him. And then, like, you went into the first boss battle, aimed your gun, but the light was beaming at you. It's like it was fucking your vision. The rest of the game didn't keep that much quality from what I remember, but it was still, it's like, that was first generation PlayStation. And then as things got better, it was like, oh, this is fucking awesome.
I also remember in Final Fantasy X, where the first time I saw Riku, I thought she wasn't wearing pants. Because the color of the full body Al Bhed suit makes it look like it's fucking skin on her legs, where in reality it was just it was the wetsuit. It does. The first time as a kid I saw that, I'm like, is she not wearing pants? What the fuck is this? Is she just a belt covering her crotch? What's going on here? Because that is something Japan would do, let's be honest. In certain games, that's totally something Japan would do. They literally made a character who the only thing she wore is her own hair as clothing.
I mean, that makes sense.
I mean,
it saves on money.
Bayonetta's fucking hot, bro.
Yeah.
True.
Holy fuck, yes.
But yeah, this is going to be an interesting generation. It has nothing really to do with the games themselves. It's just going to be how we experience them now. Not even from a graphical perspective, but because the pure efficiency, the speed, the loading times are gone. We're getting 60 frames in most games. Some games, I saw recently the Destiny 2's Crucible, the multiplayer mode is going to be 120 frames on the new consoles. That's insane.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about, like the whole jump, like between PlayStation 2, huge fucking jump graphical wise. Between PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 3, it was still a pretty big jump. PS3 and PS4, not as much, but
still pretty consistent. It was more like 1080p, but much smoother. Everything didn't look janky.
PS4 to PS5, it's not about the graphical jump; it's about the performance.
I mean, it still is, like, because ray tracing really makes a big graphical difference, but like, it's one thing. It's not a whole graphics overhaul. It's very certain things, lighting being the very specific one, or like mirrored images and things like that. But more or less, it's pure just processing power.
Yeah. It's more of a user-focused system rather than a visual focus system.
I'm not doing the user focus thing again.
Yeah, I knew it. Yeah. I'm actually so excited for the new controller because
That's
I
the
was
other
using
thing
the
too,
Xbox
right?
Series X controller. I've been using the Xbox Series X controller, and as of right now, that is my new favorite controller of all time. I didn't think I was going to like the D-pad. I can't imagine me not using that D-pad right now when gaming, holding like an Xbox controller. But I mean, other than that, it's the same thing as last generation. So it was just my favorite controller upgraded slightly. But this new PS5 controller, I feel like even just taking the haptics out, like just the shape of it, the possible feel of it, the button placement and everything. I don't know. I feel like that could be contender for like the best controller.
I mean, it might, but now that you throw the haptics in there, it just makes this controller like fucking unreal. And based on
That's
what
the
I'm hearing
thing.
about
Like
it,
it'll
the
become
only thing we have to hope for is that there doesn't end up having drift anytime soon. Like it doesn't break.
Yeah.
That's the only
And
thing.
another thing
That's the one thing
Sorry, go
I'm
ahead.
worried about. That's really it. Otherwise, it's just like I take good care of my stuff, so I'm not nearly as concerned about it. I saw a fucking picture that somebody already fucked up his HDMI port.
Ugh.
Because you know the dumb fuck was impatient and just tried to jab it in there because he really wanted to play so bad. I'm like,
Yeah.
you fucking idiot. I hope that you deserve everything you get if you actually, like, unless it's somebody who intentionally did it, because there's always that asshole who, like, takes the hammer to a console in front of people. And then maybe this is just his way of doing it.
Oh.
But,
Yeah.
like, if you accidentally fucked up your HDMI, like, port right away, like, you're a fucking idiot. Holy crap. You don't deserve nice things. Those are the people that I get mad at because it's like, man, I don't get good things, but this person was fucking able to get a console right away.
Do you know what I want? I want Sony to have the balls to make official drivers for PC for this controller.
I thought you were going to
So
say
that
make
I can
official
buy an extra
controller
one?
customization.
Oh, I also want that.
Do what
I
Xbox
also now
does.
want that. No, yeah. Oh man, that'd be awesome. But yeah, even if Sony just had official drivers on computer, so I can buy an extra one of these controllers if it does become my favorite, and I can just play with that kind of haptic feedback on PC as well.
Yeah, that would be pretty
I would
crazy.
never leave my house. God.
It makes me
Oh, I
wonder
can't
too
wait to
if
play
that now that
everything.
Sony's coming out with it and people are lauding over this controller, that Xbox goes, shit, we got to do that in our controller now.
Well, when you think about it, N64 had that Rumble pack.
Yeah,
And
but I mean, every
it
controller's had
became the
Rumble.
standard.
Like all the controllers have Rumble, but this is not Rumble. This is so different than Rumble.
Yeah, but there was no Rumble until my Nintendo was like, "Hey, Star Fox 64, here's a Rumble pack," and everyone was like, "Oh my god, the controller shakes!" And then PlayStation was like, "Throw it in there." And
But I mean,
this
generally
could
speaking, like
be
you know that now,
that
like
Rumble
in
pack.
the next 2 years, I'll be shocked if Xbox doesn't have a haptic feedback controller.
They have to. They totally will. I think it'll become the new standard. I think that Sony started the day one or Gen 1 of this new type of Rumble, this haptic feedback that's going to take controllers by storm. I think it'll be the new normal and everything going forward.
Yeah.
Which will be like, I will be not upset by this. I will be very happy.
But yeah, I cannot stress enough how excited I am. Not because it's not a hype train thing. It's just I'm thinking as like a kid who was playing fucking Final Fantasy VII back in the day, or Chrono Cross, or fucking Kingdom Hearts, the original.
Yeah.
I saw footage of Kingdom Hearts 3 on this console and how smooth it is with just an absolute load of enemies around it, which Kingdom Hearts games, most people know, when you get a lot of enemies, there's nothing you can do. You're going to get some drop. And to see how fluid this thing is, holy shit. Like, I'm thinking like Kingdom Hearts 2, because you can get the all-in-one package for PS4. There's a point in Kingdom Hearts 2 where you're facing 1,000 plus enemies on screen, and how amazing that would be in 60 frames. Oh, man.
Yeah, that because that was actually, I remember reading about when Return of the King was coming up for DVD. They were concerned about how the end battle was going to show on DVD, but it showed near perfectly, even just on DVD, not even on Blu-ray, because there was just so many characters at once. It would have been like they're like, how is this going to fucking show like properly on one disc? They managed to do it.
Yeah. It's gonna be real interesting. It's gonna be a very interesting 6 to 8 years, depending on how long the generation goes for.
Yeah. You know what's crazy about this? This is my first PlayStation I've bought on launch ever. PlayStation 1, 2, 3, 4. Obviously, I never had a 4.
I mean, if I happen to get one tomorrow, it'll be my first launch console.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, dude, we'll help you out with it. Don't worry.
Yeah, this is my new mission tomorrow. I'm so in. I'm going to be playing Xbox, trying to buy a PlayStation.
I mean, wouldn't it be amazing, because I entered the contest with Burger King to get one? Can you imagine if I buy one and then I find out that I also got the disc one? I'd be like, well, shit, I guess I'm selling off a digital version.
Okay, here, if I get you that one, you have to give me the other one.
I mean,
I always at a reduced price.
I mean, I'm assuming the way that this will work is that I give you my card number so you can buy it with my money. So in which case, no, fuck you, it's my money. It's my money, bitch. Pay me. But yeah, that's gonna be the hope. I really, there's a part of me that's still kind of ashamed that I'm giving in to not, or at least to trying to get one before the summer. But like I said, it's more important that I can at least give myself something to at least be happy about in the last 6 months of this fucking crazy ass year.
No, dude, you just go for it. Just go for it.
And generally speaking, though, I don't even know if I'll be playing a PlayStation 5 game on it anytime soon. I'm going to be playing most of the games that I already own.
Hey, but you'll be playing them better than they are now.
I'll finally get to play Trails of Cold Steel 4.
And you're going to have a lot. You're going to have a lot less. You're going to have a lot more.
I'm going to boot up Metal Gear Solid 5 on my PlayStation 5, and when I'm sitting in the helicopter, I won't be able to hear my fans screaming, because every time I'm in the point where you're just sitting in the helicopter waiting to do a mission, waiting to set up a mission, the fan is so fucking loud. I'm like, I'm not even doing anything. Yeah. I don't even know why the fan's actually blowing, to be honest. I'm literally just in like a menu screen at this point. Why is it so heavy? It's not when it's loading a map. So it's not when I'm in the game. It's just when I'm in the helicopter. It's so bizarre.
It's pushing itself so hard to render everything that's happening in that scene.
That's not happening at all.
Yeah, and there's just nothing. Yeah, PS5. I think it was Digital Foundry again. Had some thermal and sound tests. PlayStation 5, like the Xbox Series X, silent. You can't hear it. It's crazy. Like they went up to it with a decibel meter, and I think it was 40 decibels, which like you can't hear that unless you're at it. It's insane.
But yeah, it's gonna look great. I'm gonna have this like white thing next to this black and red thing. I already made the joke that I'm gonna call my PC and my PS5 the Brothers of Destruction, like the Undertaker and Kane.
Yes.
Except the difference is for some reason Kane's gonna be smaller than the Undertaker, which it doesn't make a lot of sense. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
Any last words though? Otherwise, we're gonna get this shit out of here.
I'm just so excited. I can't wait.
If you would like to do your Alex Trebek tribute, please go ahead.
Well, yeah, like I said, I was going to finish the show until Vish decided he wanted to overreach his bounds there as the not host of this show. But obviously we found out that Alex Trebek passed away at 80 years old, had pancreatic cancer. We've known about this for over a year now. I'm actually surprised it's been as long as it did. I felt like this happened this year that we got this announcement. I didn't realize it was last year that this was announced, like way early last year. I can't believe it's been that long. So it's that weird scenario where it's like, it feels like time's going so slow, and yet it's not in some cases. So
yeah,
it's a real damn shame. I mean, again, living to be 80, I hope to live that fucking long in my life. So I wouldn't be complaining if I knew 80 was my shelf life. But it doesn't take away the fact that it's really, really sad to see somebody go like that, especially one that really means a lot to me. As a kid, I grew up on Jeopardy. You know, every weeknight, Wheel of Fortune Jeopardy I was always there for that. You know, and a lot of kids will remember, like, if you were staying home from school and you would always catch Prices Right. Anytime I got home, I made sure that I had everything done. Like, my room was clean, I had my bath, I had my homework done, so that at 7 o'clock Eastern every fucking night I was ready for the Wheel of Fortune Jeopardy run around.
That I never knew about you. I never knew you were that into Jeopardy.
I mean, it should make sense given how much random trivia I know.
Well,
also true.
Same.
It makes total sense. Like, I was such a trivia fucking geek. Like, through high school, I used to do something called a Reach. Some people in Canada will know of Reach for the Top, which was something on TVO that was like a high school game show. where it was all trivia. Jeopardy
Yeah, I remember
influenced that. I remember sitting there in Jeopardy actually answering questions relatively okay, like not obviously not the hard ones, but like you put me in front of the $200 questions, I knew a lot of that shit. And if you brought up things like sports or some very select things that were more like children friendly, like anytime a video game category ever comes up, I got excited about it. I still remember like even off the board, like I remember when Who Wants to Be a Millionaire and the $500,000 question was which one of these four isn't a Pokemon, and I was sitting there screaming at the TV.
That one.
I was screaming at the television because this dumb fucking, I don't know, guy that was probably like 55 didn't know what a Pokemon was.
I remember this episode. I saw that one. That was when Millionaire was like at its peak and everyone watched it. I remember this question. You know what? I think
totally forgot too. Regis Philbin passed away this year. I could have talked about that too.
Yeah, you know what?
He passed away this year?
Yeah, he passed away July 24th.
I look at more like I find because I never really watched Jeopardy because frankly I didn't know enough to relate to Jeopardy. And Alex Trebek made a joke about it. I was like, well, if you find my show too difficult, watch Wheel of Fortune. If you know the alphabet, you're good.
I mean, do you guys also remember the Game Show Network in America? They used to have the kids version of it. They had Wheel 2000 and fucking Jep.
That I don't remember.
I don't remember that now.
Yeah, they had a kids version of those shows. So they had Jep for Kids Jeopardy. And I actually found those ones stupid because most of the questions were just pop culture, and I'm like, this is stupid. This is just remembering who fucking Hillary Duff is. This is dumb.
Who won't?
I would have been horrible at that.
Who thinks why not take a chance? The answer is.
I mean, I grew up on game shows, like all that stuff, like Jeopardy, Wheel of Fortune, Card Sharks, Family Feud, Lingo, fucking, what else? I mean, obviously you have like the random stupid ones like Celebrity Squares and the Newlywed Game and all this stuff. But game shows was like a big part of my childhood. Like when my parents got an illegal satellite dish, I spent more time watching the Game Show Network than any other station because I love that shit.
Me too.
And I really do think that Alex Trebek
reason.
and Pat Sajak specifically, those two guys were a big part of it because every day I was always keeping up with that stuff.
Okay, so I find that Pat Sajak and Alex Trebek are arguably the most irreplaceable game show hosts because I would have said Bob Barker as number one.
Bob Barker was.
I still can't watch Price is Right. I just can't do it.
No, it's not the same.
Now, I will say this. I think Jeopardy's doing the best possible job they can by trying to get Ken Jennings as the replacement, potentially. Which makes perfect sense. There's nobody more synonymous with Jeopardy than Ken Jennings. Ken Jennings is, I think before somebody else took the record, he was the all-time winner. And he also has a very similar kind of personality to Alex Trebek, so he would be a perfect fit for it. He's also already has a history of like writing questions and stuff and doing his own trivia stuff with people. So I mean, he's already works up pretty perfectly for it. And a lot of people do agree that if there was any replacement for Alex Trebek, that's probably the only option you can have. Anything else is kind of just not good. If they just put anybody else in that role, like no matter how good they actually end up being at it, it's not going to be the same. At least with Ken Jennings, there's that familiarity.
With Ken Jennings, I look at it as a former NBA athlete becoming an analyst, which happens quite frequently.
That's not even remotely the same comparison.
No, because what I'm going with this is that with
the reason that I'm saying it's not a comparison is because there isn't 50 different Jeopardies out there. Anybody can be an analyst for all these million stations, because let's be honest, you don't have to put that much work in, and you're only regional for most people. Jeopardy, if you're literally replacing Alex Trebek, you're replacing years and generations of one thing. So I think by technicality, yes, it's the same thing, but in practice, no. Because I mean, look at what Drew Carey. There's so many people that refuse to accept Drew Carey, even though he's been doing The Price is Right for how long now?
I think it's like almost 10 years, if not 10 years.
And just no one accepts it. In the same way that very few people accepted what's the guy's name that played Al or the side guy in Home Improvement? He used to be the Family Feud guy for a bunch. No one accepted that. Yeah. Steve Harvey's starting to carve out his own thing, but that's also because Steve Harvey's made Family Feud almost into a comedy show because there's so many fucking clips that you get from the Family Feud now. Whereas Richard Dawson was just synonymous with the show. Like, the game itself, you still envision Richard Dawson with. But Steve Harvey's kind of carved his own niche for that.
The difference is like with Family Feud, because it's been reincarnated so many times. It's a little
Well,
like
but we could also say that in the future, if Drew Carey
Jeopardy.
leaves Price is Right and we have like 3 more hosts for it, we're still going to look at Bob Barker as being the quintessential.
I get that. I find Bob. I honestly, I just maybe forgot about Bob Barker, but Bob Barker.
If you
and
forgot
Alex
about Bob
Trebek,
Barker, I should get him to come back. Oh wait, wait.
The price is wrong, bitch.
I need to check. I was about to say, come back from the grave. I'm like, wait, Bob Barker's not dead yet. So no, Bob Barker's gonna have to come up there with some fucking golf gloves on and start beating the shit out of you and ask you if you've had enough, bitch.
All I'm saying is with Bob Barker and Alex Trebek, they were as synonymous with their show as the title of the show itself. Like when you think of Price is Right, you think Bob Barker. When you think of Jeopardy, you think Alex Trebek.
Yeah, but didn't you just say you'd forgotten about him?
No, okay, yes, bro. Okay, I really have no.
I keep getting you in gotcha moments. Good thing you don't ever do debates, sir.
This reminds me of an episode of The Boys.
Would you shut up, man?
Watch The Expanse.
So yeah, those two are as synonymous with the show as the title of the show itself. So replacing Alex Trebek,
like I said, Ken Jennings might be like the closest you get. You'll never ever get a proper replacement, but at least this is one that won't hurt as much because Ken Jennings is so synonymous with Jeopardy too that at least it's a relatively like painless transition. Jeopardy fans will see Ken Jennings on their screen and be like, "Oh, I know who that is." They're not going to go and watch Price is Right when Drew Carey was on the first week and be like, "Drew fucking Carey, what's he doing here?" At least with Ken Jennings, you're going to look at them and be like, "Okay, yeah, that makes sense." That's the one thing. Now, there's still like 30-something episodes in the can still for Jeopardy, so that's a ways away. So we got time to kind of process his passing. Because he filmed, apparently the producer was saying he filmed up to 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago they were filming. So,
wow.
That motherfucker was killing it.
And I believe they filmed a week's worth of episodes in one day.
Oh yeah, so you know that motherfucker is, he was troopering.
That's the thing, it's like, he announced it, but he was still going at it. It's like the way Gord Downey went down. He did a fucking major tour before, like, just maybe like 2 or 3 months before he ultimately died. He did a fucking tour.
Well, then Trebek fucking trumped him by a lot because he was only in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
The last thing, honestly, is it seems so perfect though that with Sean Connery passing, that Trebek's not far behind him. It feels almost too soon, but it's so perfect. It's one of those things where it's just like, you know what, I can take this.
And all respect and everything, and I mean this in all respect. Suck it, Trebek.
I feel like I want to punch you.
Let Tish now.
Your mother's a whore.
It's like that one meme where it was like, "God, is that you? Think of good, Trebek."
Well, I guess we'll just finish with our favorite line, so I'll go with mine. Trebek, what's the difference between you with a mallard with a cold? One's a sick duck. I forget how the rest goes, but your mother's a whore.
You know, the best mine, it was, the answer is Alex. Just write anything. Alex Trebek. Oh, you chose my name. Yes, dear friend. I feel like I've been hard on you for the past couple of years. Okay.
That classic, he's gonna get you line.
Suck it. Alex Trebek is a fruit.
Wasn't it just sucks?
No, it was when you put V and it's like, oh.
No, that one, if it was the V, it was the suck at Trebek.
Yes. This one was like Alex Trebek and it's like, is a fruit.
There was the one too where he drew an entire picture of Alex Trebek getting fucked by a horse, but it was only the top half.
I feel like we need to watch.
There's a great comic that's already done where it's like Trebek going up in heaven and be like, "What took you so long, Trebek? I already had time to fuck your mother first." But yeah,
The
it's
tits
my
now.
favorite two. I'm torn between two because there's the rapists, and he's like, that's therapists, and anal bum cover, and that's an album cover.
Yep.
An album cover.
Oh,
Anal
you-
bum cover.
With tits now is
is
pretty good. The penis mightier was pretty good.
Oh yeah.
I know this is Burt Reynolds, but also ape tit. It was a petite.
Oh,
I just remember it's like, it's let it snow, Mr. Connery. No, it's not. It's a French expression. Bonjour, mademoiselle. I would like to see the tits now.
The tits now.
But man,
Holy
that,
crap.
that fucking anniversary show is so fucking good too.
Yeah.
Except for
Oh,
when,
you know,
for
I-
whatever reason, they decided to have one of the guys do a Christoph waltz, and I'm like, this is really weird and out of place, actually.
Yeah, that was out of way.
Although
The other
Kate, what's her name? Kate something?
McKinnon or
Kate McKinnon, yeah, doing Justin
McKinnon?
Bieber was so fucking funny.
oh, that was good. It's crazy. The only other character I can think of that was on that was Norm Macdonald doing Burt Reynolds, and he
Yeah.
was on all the time. And Burt
Alec
Reynolds
Baldwin
passed
was,
away.
fucking hat.
Alec Baldwin, who was he? He wasn't
Yeah,
Sinatra.
Burt Reynolds passed away last year.
What
Everybody
was,
from
oh,
this show,
what was
all the
Baldwin
real life
playing?
people are
And
gone.
fucking Norm Macdonald was he changed his name to Turd Ferguson.
It's like, yeah, that's not my name.
I'm Turd Ferguson.
But yeah, rest in peace, Alice Trebek, another fucking legend gone in 2020.
Yeah, I know. It's
Yeah, I'm getting sick of doing these. I'm
tribute.
getting sick of doing these. Like it sucks.
Yeah,
doing
thank
these
God there's no
tributes.
Oscars
Tell
this
you
year,
what,
so we don't have the in
please-
memoriam.
Please be safe. Please be as healthy as you can. You are a fucking treasure.
That's the thing. You're sitting.
Just the amount of
and
people.
this is the sad part of the show. It's no surprise that a lot of people are dying of old age this year, because when they can't go out and enjoy the things that they enjoy doing, what's the point in living at that point? And this it may seem crass to say that, but that's probably happening to a bunch of people too, where they're bored.
Yeah.
So they're
Yeah,
they're
it's
not
the
finding stuff to
mind
live for.
dies. Yeah.
So I think that's a big part of why also people are dropping like flies seemingly this year. It's because, again, like a lot of older people, they're not being busy anymore. It's like, you know,
That's a
it's like when
very
you see
dangerous thing.
it's like when you see that married couple that's
Yeah.
been together 55 years and one of them goes, you almost assume the other one's going to go within the next year.
Yep.
So it's
100%.
it's a damn shame, and unfortunately, we have a month and a half to go before this fucking year's over. So we got plenty of time, and I don't want to say any names because I know it's going to happen if I say it. So
Don't nobody say anything.
But don't say
Vish,
anything.
don't. Do
I mean, we can do the outro.
no,
We can do
no.
the outro, but don't say names.
Yeah, you know what? Speaking of which, I'm going to do it now. I don't want to take the chance. It's too much risk that people are going to die, so we're going to stop the show just for that. So thank you so much for checking out the VCR podcast. Usual shit. If you want to check us out, twitch.tv/csradical if you want to watch the live streams, youtube.com/csradical if you want to see the VODs. Otherwise, we are on very many audio services, Spotify, Stitcher, Apple, and Google Podcasts, so many. So, yeah, thank you so much for checking us out. And next week, one of us might have a PS5, maybe even two of us. We'll see.
It won't be 3 because I will not buy it right now.
Yeah, you know. At least somebody in here's got
But
to be fun.
I sent a video. I sent a message of the Alex of Sean Connery, Alex Trebek, and Saturday Night Live, and I think we should watch that as a group as a tribute.
Well, then, thanks for
Absolutely.
fucking up the end of the show as per always. So,
welcome.
I'm gonna do the thing that I've been wanting to do for quite some time. Mute. Disable video. I'm gonna break Discord. I don't give a shit. And this has been the VCR Podcast, guys. Thank you so much for checking this out. I will see you on the next one. Have a good night, everybody.